Hey friend, it's great to be back with you today. If you and I have not met, my name is Emma Lou with Heartfelt Creations, and I'm going to share one of my tips and techniques to creating a beautiful decorative flap on the side of a card, and then we'll finish it off by creating a smaller tag accent that has a sentiment and it's a shaker element. I think you'll absolutely love it. I love the versatility and kind of the thinking outside the box to creating a card that's very practical for mailing, but also very versatile and perfect for all occasions. So join me and we'll learn how to create this together. So this is the Diamond Fleur die. This one comes with two pieces. They are very much what I call bold focal pieces that you can really mix and match and use on any different card size. So what do I mean by that? Here's a 6x6 size. Here is how it looks on a 5x7 size if you use it together. And then this is how it's trimmed down for a small A2 size card. So lots of different variations just based on how you want to create with it. But you can create those beautiful side flaps on your card with this. Now I wanted to share a way that you can do this with the die. So we are also utilizing a die cutting tip and trick that I think you'll absolutely love. So this is the die that's going to be the top, that's the pocket, and you know, the flap for the card. So you can make it into a pocket if you wanted to as well. However, since I wanted this going down the edge of my card, but I wanted to have that decorative piece, I wanted to do something that I utilized a favorite die cutting trick that I think you'll absolutely love as well. So what you want to do is cut out a piece of paper that's going to be your front flap that's a little bit larger than your die, but also a flap that is a little bit longer so that you have room to make a hinge to hinge this around your card. Now I wanted it to be a decorative background, but I also wanted it to be stiff so that it holds up well to be a card flap. So what I did is I just taped this down, and we're going to run this through our machine. And when I run this through, I'm going to put my plates on so that these plates do not cut this edge, because I don't want it to release and cut off from the paper, because if I would do that, this is what I'd have. And that's not what I'm looking for. I am looking to create a background flap for this. So what we're going to do is just put that into the plates like this. And since this is very thick, and this is running through the way that I would definitely not recommend for most of your machines. Like if you're wanting to cut this out intricately, you got to be sending that through this way so that your machine, like you're wanting to have those rollers hit it like this so you get a good cut. But with this one, I just wanted those outline edges, and maybe some of the inside is pressed in a little bit, but not fully cut. So I brought in my cut and emboss, and I just layered this like this so that we could, now my machine, there we go. It acted like it was on, but it wasn't fully on. So if you're joining me, let me know where you're watching from and tell me if you have utilized this technique. So I'm going to bring it out and see if it has cut as much as I wanted it to, and it hasn't. So that is going through a lot of layers, and that was going through lengthwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just twist it a little bit on my plate, and we're going to run that through again. So you might have to do it, you know, this technique like 2 times with your machine, but just kind of figure that out based on, you know, practicing with it a little bit, and just run that through. So this is just a great way to really think outside the box, create a beautiful flap very easily, and have that decorative piece going along the edge there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and release this from my die. And we're just going to bring this out, and you'll see that you have some pieces that are slightly cut out, which is okay. But what we're going for is we are going for just trimming off this edge, and then we can trim off more if we need to. And then if there's some pieces that are not quite, you know, cut out to the T, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of roughly cutting that out, just because that gives you a little bit of, you know, you have that shape that is very easy, and you can just go along that edge, okay? So we'll just trim this off, as we are going to need to do another cut there. So what I want you to do next is grab your score pal, and if I can find mine, what I want you to do is just go ahead and make a line right down where this fold's going to be, okay? So if you want to have it a little bit wider, which I did mine right on the edge, and I'm going to go in a little bit further because I want there to be a little bit of a give when I go to fold this. So I am going to just that, and then we can fold this in half, okay? There we go. Okay. So next up, what we're going to do, so we have our flap. Let me just get my bulky score pal out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the sides here. So let's go ahead and trim that off because that's what's going to wrap along the back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our hot glue gun and just put that down the side and wrap that around. So while that is drying, we're going to, which it should not take long, I'm just going to have that kind of stand up a little bit, okay? We're going to lay that to the side. We're going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together, okay? So we're going to have your decorative die, the white piece that I cut out. We're going to layer that on the Luxe Gold cardstock. If you haven't done that, it really just elevates and makes your elegant dies look very beautiful, and it just makes them pop very simply. So with this one, I'm just going to offset this just a teeny tiny bit, and this is ready to be glued on top. Now I think I am going to just use some hot glue. You do have to work pretty quickly if you do that, so that I just want this to stick really quickly so it doesn't move around on me when we are doing our stuff, which actually we do have some time because we are going to be making a banner. So here we go. So we'll just layer this on top, and you have that beautiful paper in the background. Now if you would have wanted to, you could have done a darker paper in the background. So you can really utilize that however you want. You can go ahead and glue your paper to your card base. I chose the feathery florals. The feathery florals is really, it's a mixture of colors, but it's colors that I really utilize a lot. So it has like kind of your aquas and your fuchsias, some pinks, some greens. It's really, oops, I did that the wrong way. Don't do what I just did. I was trying to work quickly because I used the hot glue, and I totally put this in the wrong way. So now the design's on the inside. Don't do what I did, but we're going to learn from it. What I was wanting is to have that design reversed, so that beautiful design comes in from the side, and it allows us to put a banner, and then you can pop some dimensional flowers in here if you want to, but you don't have to. So we won't focus on the mistake I just made. Just don't do what I just did. But we're going to focus on making the banner, and then you can place that banner on your card very beautifully and simply. Now, if you weren't here, a while ago, I showed you how to make a beautiful banner very quickly and easily. I used the large size to do that. Now, the large arrow and banner was really beautiful. If you hang on, I'm going to go grab that because that sample is right here, and I missed putting it up here, and I wanted to. That is this one. So if you saw this demonstration, if you didn't, let us know. We'll link it to that demo. But this shows you how to do the larger tag and kind of do an easel fold card. This one shows how to use the second size in that set. So all you want to do is just grab your tag. I use the feathery florals. And for this one, I wanted to have these flowers kind of coming down from the top. So I just chose a sentiment. This one is from the thank you set, and I'm using the heartfelt thanks, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and ink this up, stamp that onto our arrow. So that's what I love about these shaker arrows, is it really makes a very beautiful, intricate, kind of detailed element for your cards, for your scrapbook pages, but it's so simple to do and very stunning. So there you've got the heartfelt thanks, and then all you have to do is just put your banner on top. So I use the third and fourth size, cut this shape, and then added my clear cardstock to the background of that. Added my thin white foam strips. We only have one size of that. If those are still in stock, you can stock up on those, but those are great for the arrows and banners. And while I am pulling this off, just so you know, the items that I'm using today are in the warehouse clearance section, so when you shop with us, you save 70% on the warehouse clearance section, depending on how many items you purchase. So this is your chance to stock up on those items you've been eyeballing, and just make sure you do that before they sell out, because once they're gone, and I don't want you to have the disappointment of I wish I would have and I should have and all the things, right? So here we go. So we're just going to go ahead and pull that off. Now, the key to making this work well is making sure that all of this foam is bumped up when you're piecing it tightly together. Kind of think of the fishbowl concept. You don't want any water leaking out of your fishbowl. So once you have done that, you're just going to lay this into your tidy tray, dump your prills on top, the excess that floats to the sides, okay, that tidy tray is going to catch it. However, I do like to make sure that there are no prills along the edges where the foam is going to hit. What that does is it creates some bubbles, and it makes that your shaker card is not fully intact, and you need to have some maintenance done in aisle 9. So we're going to go ahead and just press this on top, just line that up, and you have a beautiful shaker element. So this is what I suggest. You know, if you're kind of in a creative slump and you're not sure what to make, what you can do is you can just go ahead and make a lot of beautiful arrows like this with different sentiments on the inside. You can do different patterns and different colors, and then that allows you to have a very beautiful focal image that you can just put on a card like you see here, and then add your flowers if you want to add flowers or another dimensional element, which this one I use the mushroom cottage. So very different look and feel, but very elegant, right? So here you've got the feathery florals, here you've got the mushroom cottage paper and the fairies. So you get to choose how you want to finish that, but you also have a very different look if you just have a neutral paper on the side there versus, you know, the beautiful design that so many of the papers have that you can just utilize on the side there. So hopefully that inspires you in different ways that you can add your arrows in different sizes and different dimensions, and then utilizing this fleur as a side flap, or like I showed earlier, all you have to do with these is if you just make some background card bases, all I have to do here is add a sentiment and add some flowers. And you could even do, you know, a sentiment like this on top. You could move this arrow down a little bit if you wanted to, and you could have some flowers and different elements like this. Like, let's see how this would look on here. So right there, you have another card, okay? Let's see if we can shift that to the other 5x7. Like, I was not planning on doing this, but it just kind of, you know, as I'm doing. Okay, so this one, the flap opens on the side. However, with the way this design is, you could have the flap open on the bottom. You could have this down here, and you could also have this up here like this, and just add the flowers in. So lots of variations. Let's see, how would you do it on this one? These banners are also, I hope you get the visual of this, but you can cut them out and have them hanging onto the top of the card. But you could have this coming in like in here and just trim it off and have that shaker trimmed off a little bit more. You could have it, you know, full on in the center here, and add, you know, flowers, you know, more flowers in this one because this has a little bit larger size to it. So lots of variations. That was fun. Just showing you some different ways that you can utilize this. Like this one was a smaller one, using that as a side flap. So you can use the same technique, or if you want to just scissor trim it, you can do that too, whichever works best for you. Then I added the on your special day in the middle. This one is also just different ways that you can utilize the sentiments in the middle. Utilizing that background. The sentiments just got it added into the warehouse clearance section in January, so I'm not sure what we have left. I did not check those, but those have really been utilized on these cards too. And then here is a way that you can just use the beautiful background papers, use the die on a 5x7 card, add your flowers, and you're done. You're good to go. So hopefully that gets you jump started on your next creative project. Let me know in the comments what you loved about this and how this inspired you. And if you don't have these yet, these are in the warehouse clearance section if they haven't been sold out yet. So make sure that you check that. And I can't wait for you to experience the joy of creating with these for just like those simple cards, or you can really amp it up and add all sorts of creativity and dimension using the florals.